I'd already been thinking about like just the concept of fear and safety in my own life, just kind of like while I'm going through some therapy and exploring
Yeah.
my childhood, et cetera, and I'm finding these times where I was not feeling safe in my life, right? And then you think about that as it relates to the work that we do when it comes to wealth management, financial planning, working with clients, right? And you have a market like we've had this year in
Sure.
2025 where there's a decline, which is, normal, right? We
Yeah.
get these
It's
declines.
fairly minor decline. I think we're down 2% right now year to date, but
Right.
still a decline.
Still a decline, and it was
Yep.
worse,
And it was
right?
worse. It's come back, yep,
We
a little
got into
bit.
correction territory, down over 10%,
Yep.
right? But there was this compound energy of the market's going down and we're scared.
Right.
And when I was taking a lot of phone calls from people, the panic, the concern was different than COVID,
Totally.
different than 2022, which that was a pretty long duration bear market, not by like historic norms, but longer than what we've seen over the last decade,
Yeah.
right? But it was a lot of just like emotional response as it related to the stock market.
Right.
And it reminded me of just like this basic human need to feel safe, to feel secure, right?
Yep.
And you and I can talk about compound growth in investments, right? And the concept that, over time, being in the stock market is generally the best way to compound growth. You could
Yeah.
argue that over time, being in Bitcoin was the best way to to compound growth.
True. Yeah. There's always outliers. You could
yeah.
look at individual stocks though too.
Nvidia,
Yeah.
right.
Nvidia and
Yeah.
be like, well, that was the best way to do it. But
Right.
anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
But it also comes with a certain amount of tolerance, right? A certain amount of acceptance that there's going to be a lot of volatility. There's going to be times when the market can like really shake you, right? Like just grab you and shake you, right?
Yeah.
And I have a very high tolerance for that, and you might have a very high tolerance for that.
Yeah.
But there are other people who don't have that tolerance,
No.
right? And we have to kind of factor that into the work that we do with them. And sometimes I know I've made the mistake of letting my tolerance dictate theirs, right?